Right, we are in the hothouse today. We've got to sort out some palms to go indoors. So I'll start with the bigger ones and work my way down to the smaller ones. The intention is I've got a indoor grow tent, a DIY one, which I will do a video on maybe midweek before the plants go in. I'm just going to have a sort through and see what we need to move in, because we are in October, sort of coming towards mid-October. We've had some cool nights, and on a day like this when it's quite overcast, it's not really warming up too much in here. It's only about 18-19 degrees in here, and we did have a cool night last night. I think outside we got down about 6 degrees, so if it's not warming up again during the day and we're in for sort of a cloudy week, it's time to sort of start moving stuff in, all the tropical palms at least. So we'll have a look through and see what's done okay over the summer, and again we'll do a video midweek maybe of the grow tent before I move stuff in, and then maybe next weekend we'll do another video of all the stuff crammed in there. Right, so we've got a big Areca palm here, Dipsis lutescens, butterfly palm, whatever you want to call it, common house plant. It's done quite well in a big pot, starting to get some nice gold colour to the actual trunks, as it were. Standard house plant. That's a real easy one to overwinter. That's just as a house plant. That doesn't need to go in a grow tent or anything. That can just sit in a sunny place, you know, windowsill or something like that. We've got a foxtail palm here, which is sort of smothered with loads of other foliage. This hasn't done much this year. I'm going to have to cut this out because I've got this bougainvillea which has absolutely gone mad this year and grown into everything. But we can see the foxtail palm is opening a new leaf there. Again, bougainvillea's sort of gone mental out, and it is spiky. But we have got a fair amount of trunk on this foxtail. I say fair amount of trunk, maybe about 3 foot of trunk going down there. So that's one for the grow tent. I've got a little Licuala grandis which struggled last winter in the grow tent. I had to cut a few leaves off, so it has pumped out a couple of new leaves, but that might need special attention to get that back to looking good again. We've got this fantastic palm here, which is a spindle palm. Bought that last year. I have repotted it this year, and it has kicked out the frond, and it's got a big spear. So that's a nice tropical look palm, which I found really easy as a house plant. Just keep it dry and a sort of well lit near a window or something, and that's a real easy one. So that doesn't need to go in a grow tent. We've got the Christmas palm, Edenidia morellii. So this is actually in the garden all summer. Threw out 2 new leaves, and it's got a spear coming. That will go in the grow tent. We've got the white elephant palm here, Caryopdoxia something or other, escapes me. White elephant palm, so that's again a really easy house plant. So this is sort of a shade tolerant palm. I kept it last year as a house plant and done absolutely fine, so no special treatment for that. Got a fairly substantial triangle palm here. That's going to go in a grow tent. Got quite a few Robolinis in pots. These are all sort of doubles and triples. They'll actually stay in here over winter. They're not I suppose you class them as a tropical or subtropical palm, but they do take some cold. They can actually stay in here. They can take a couple of degrees below freezing. Red Latan. This has done quite well. It's opened up a few leaves. Lovely red petioles. That goes in the grow tent. That's always a solid, easy grower. This is a special mention. I had someone messaging me about their Alexandria palm or a Quanta Phoenix. I mean, let's just say there's a few, obviously, different palms in that family of the Quanta Phoenix. You've got the Alexandria, you've got the Cunning Hanayama, the likes. This is, I just call them king palms because they're all in the same sort of family. You're all going to need the same sort of requirements. This is a one that should be easy growing, but I've always found them quite difficult for whatever reason. But so this one I had as a house plant last year over winter, and I don't know, it really stunted it. I don't know, it just didn't like it. It didn't die back or anything. It had a leaf and a spear. It's taken all summer for that spear to open, which is this leaf here, and it has got another spear coming. We can see that in there. Yeah, so even in the grow tent, it's probably on me rather than the palm, but it's just getting the watering right. So yeah, they're not like to dry out totally if they're still in growth, so that's the thing to consider with them. Yeah, like I say, so I thought this might have died because it had one good leaf on it. The spear didn't move for a good 6 months. It's only the last few months that's opened this one up. So it's good to know it hasn't died. On the same note, I have killed a couple of these king palms before. I have got while we're on the subject of king palms, I've got one here which is actually a cross Cunning Henriana with Alexandria, and I had 3 of these. 2 of them died over winter last year. This one survived. I won't say it's done brilliantly, but it's alive. So again, I think that's me on my watering over winter. It's just, you know, keeping on top of it because I do tend to let things dry out a bit too much. So we've got some more Dipsis lutescens there, or Areca palms. A couple of pots there. Again, standard house plant. Right at the back here, I've got a couple of triangle palms. So these were just off eBay as seedlings. They've done quite well. They're very stretched, but starting to get a little bit of a trunk on them. A lot of grass in that pot, which I'm going to have to, a lot of these will have weeds and stuff grown in, so I'm going to have to clean them all out and spray them all down before we bring them indoors anyway, in case there's any sort of bugs. There's not too many bugs actually in the hothouse itself, but there is somehow a few little snails got in here, so I will be, everything that goes indoors will be sprayed down and de-weeded, and any dead foliage sort of cleaned up. So again, we've got well, not again, but this is a bottle palm here, and more of a red petiole. That's done quite well. I did, and there's the other triangle palm. So we've got triangle palm, bottle palm, triangle, which I did repot them in the spring, and they've responded well. Right, quite a few random little palms here. So these are, I did label them, but that's faded, so I'm going to have to label them again before I come in. Luckily I can remember a lot of these. This is Bicario Phoenix Madagascar. I do struggle. So I've got a couple of them. I have got a couple of Quanta Phoenix Alfredii as well, which is the Highland or High Plateau coconut. There's a little double there, and there's a single next to it. The single's looking a bit yellowy, but hopefully they'll pick up over winter in the grow tent. I've got some Pritchardias here, a couple of Pritchardias, which are quite a nice, even at a small size, sort of nice wide leaves on them. They'll be going in the grow tent. Again, it's a bit of a jumble here, and until I pull them all out and clean them all up, they might look a bit better. We've got some Camadorias here, a couple of different types. We sort of come on to the Orangas. So again, these are all quite small, and that's a concern. Again, you have to use a bit of pen to label these. As we can see, it's just totally faded. But these ones are Micrantha. So these are supposed to be one of the cold hardiest types of Oranga palm, along with the one I've got in the garden, which is the Oranga Angleri. What's this one? Really almost looks like a licuala, this one, but it is a Oranga obtusifolia, so really wide leaves on that. They will separate eventually, but at the moment it's looking quite nice like that. We have got another Oranga here, which again is a really sort of big paddle shaped leaf, but it is starting to split and go pinnate. That is Oranga pinnata. We've got little dipsas here. We've got a golden licuala, which really, I mean, I've had it for a few years and it just never looks good. It really struggles. Summer and winter just struggles, doesn't seem to do much at all. We've got a golden Christmas palm here, so it's slightly more on the yellow side, golden side. Then we've got the Bismarckia nobilis there, which is the one I grew from seed. Probably not getting the best angle on this. So that really hasn't done a lot this year at all. It's been a bit of a shady corner in the hothouse here, so I will have to do better with that next year. I've got an American oil palm there. Copanetia alba. So all these smaller tropical palms will be going in the hothouse. We're in the hothouse. We'll be going in the indoor grow tent. Along with this is another Christmas palm, Edenidia morellii. This is actually the variegated one. Not looking good when it's alive. It's growing, but it's just, I don't know, just the leaves are a bit damaged. It's got some nice variegation, some nice stripes. Hopefully that will do a bit better over the winter. This is my nemesis palm, the Joey palm. This is a silver Joey. Not overly silver at the moment, but that's the silver form. I've killed a lot of these and I keep trying. So again, I think it's going to be a case of keeping on top of the watering for that. They don't like to dry out, but they need a decent temperature. I'll go into all the setup of the indoor grow tent, like say in the midweek video, maybe when we have a look at that. Look at the sort of conditions they'll be growing in there. Might be easier to read it yourself. Vertifeltia splendida. So this is like the stilt palm with the aerial roots, little black spines. That's done okay. Right, so this is, can't even read the thing and I've forgotten. Problem is, I need to label things up properly. That's sort of a burgundy leaf. I think it's a type of Areca, in the Areca family, burgundy leaf. Got a couple of seedlings here, just one big leaf on them at the moment. That is Paragebrea cocoides. We've got 2 of them. We've got the standard Butiagris there. That's started off slow. I did repot it when I got it earlier this year. Didn't do anything for a couple of months, and then that has pushed out 2 or 3 leaves since. Some palms that have done really well for me. I've got 3 of these. This is just one of them. These are the Cyagrus Romansophiana literat. I don't know what's the matter with my tongue today. Silver Queens, commonly called. This is again from eBay. I ordered 2 and got 3, so they're all doing well. There's the other 2 there. I've got this one out just to show how well that's doing. If you'd seen the video, I think I got these last year and they were literally that big, you know, just little tiny seedlings. Yeah, they've done really well. Right, so that's sort of what's going on with the palms. Predominantly the indoor grow tent is for palms, but I do have a shelf for sort of smaller, namely sort of allocations or stuff that I want to keep ticking over winter. And I do actually chuck a couple of bananas in there as well. So this, for instance, this no and the Musa Florida, they'll be going in there, and I'll literally just keep them down to 1 leaf, and they will push out the odd leaf over winter, but they'll just be ticking over. Like I say, I'll have a small shelf for some fussy alocasias which I want to just keep alive and sort of guarantee. So I tend to do that with the Xanthosoma variegation there, the Mickey Mouse plant. That's not done particularly well this year, but I didn't repot it. Yeah, just the further more unusual alocasias, I will, if they're quite small, I'll whack in a shelf in there. But in general, that is sort of what I call my indoor palm tent. Yeah, so quite a mixture here with some palms that are sort of will take a bit of cold, and there's a couple of palms, like I said, the Robolini. So I've got 3 pots of Robolini here, plus a bigger one here from B&M. They'll all be staying in here over winter, and it does get cold. I am going to frost protect it this year, so I'll have a small heater which will kick in about 2 degrees just to keep it above freezing, but I'm not actually heating the hothouse itself. Have got a saw palmetto there in a little pot. That's a 1 leaf seedling at the beginning of the year, and that has pushed out 3 leaves. That's done all right, but that'll be staying in here, along with, we've got a sable palmetto here that can stay in, quite cold tolerant. Yeah, so once, it should really basically clear this shelf and well, the shelf around the window and this bench here will be cleared, so I can then bring in some of the more tender stuff from outside in here to overwinter. So yeah, again, just sort of a juggling act between tropical stuff moving indoors, tender stuff moving in here. It's not really a big deal. I do, you know, just do one thing at a time. It's not like a big thing. I can do it as and when the weather dictates, but I think at this point it's a good time to get some of the tropicals in, just to take stock, clean them all up and sort out, because I think the mistake I made this year in here was just letting everything grow, and I've got a lot of sort of big alocasias, bananas, colocaceas and alocasias, and I need to be a bit more fussy, and because I used a lot of recycled soil in here, a lot of stuff just came up I didn't actually plant. So it's I mean, I like walking in here and fighting my way through the foliage, don't get me wrong, but it's a bit too overgrown. Yeah, we've definitely got some big leaves going, especially with some of these alocasias, and they're still pushing out new leaves now, but they definitely will slow down, and they definitely will, everything will, a lot of stuff will die back in here. I have got some evergreens, I've got some small palms in the background, as it were. Well, not that you can see it, but there's a little Chamaedoria metallica there. I've got a Rapis excelsior, like I say, Phoenix Robolini there. So I have got some evergreen stuff in here, but you can't see it at the moment because of all the big foliage, which will, like I say, die down over the winter, and that'll just leave the bare bones, and then I'll reevaluate what I want to do next year. I think one job I'm going to have to do is dig out this bird of paradise, this giant bird of paradise, because the last 3 leaves, as we can see, have all bent over, touching the roof. So that will overwinter in here, and dig it out in the spring, and we'll pop that up, and that'll be nice for the garden. And then we'll decide what to do with that next winter. Fun and games anyway. Like I say, in here, I mean, it's like a my own little tropical rainforest, which I can change every year. Biggest disappointment really this year was the Thai giant. It never really got much bigger than 3 foot leaves. That's basically what the last leaf on it now is, about 3 foot, but something weird going on with them this year. I've never had a problem growing them, but this year I've had two rot off and die, and this one was growing well, and that's just rotted off and died as well by the looks of it. Regardless of that, we'll try something different next year. We've got options, and like I say, once the overwinter reset happens, we can have a good look at it, have a good tidy up over winter, and see what I want to do. Just too congested, too many big statement plants, not enough room, so just a bit more care and a bit more full thought to the ultimate size things are going to grow, and just a lot more editing out of plants that, you know, really could go outside rather than be in here. Right, what we're going to do is leave it there. I said it in the last video, but I'm going to say it again because I'd left it a bit late, and I guess a lot of people would have turned off by that point. Thanks everybody for watching, subscribing, especially for the thumbs up and especially for the hypes. Much appreciated. I know, a bit of a niche channel. Oh, before I go, I think I've missed probably the biggest palm of all. Don't know how that happened. So this is a royal palm, and again, this one is a little bit of a story. Most palms do have a bit of a story. But this one I decided I normally keep it in the growing tent indoors over winter. It normally does okay. I thought I'd try it as a house plant. It wasn't in the brightest spot and it defoliated, it died, and I thought it was a goner. It did have a spear, and luckily come spring that did push out, start opening the spear. So since then, this was the spear in question when it opened up over sort of end of spring before I brought it out, and since then it's opened up this huge leaf here, and it's got a nice big spear there. But this is going to be a problem for me because this is over 11 foot tall now, and yeah, I mean, just the top foliage, you know, will be touching the ceiling indoors, so that's not going to get much light. So the question is, do I keep this separate and put a grow light over it, or just put it near a window and expect, you know, a bit of top growth to die off and then let the new growth happen again next spring? That is the question, something to think about. Right, we'll leave it there. Obviously let me know if you've grown any of these palms, anything that you think you've done really well with, or any palms you've struggled with. Feel free to ask the question. I mean, I'm not an expert. I don't go into all the, you know, scientific details of it, but what I can give you is my experience of growing lots of different palms and what works for me, and hopefully the same thing could work for you. Right, it's gone on long enough. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.